Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the studio. You are listening to a brand new episode of The Heavy Blend.
It is fantastic to be back here with you.
So before we get into the music today, we just need to set the stage. Because this is The Heavy Blend. We're an independent project born right here in Italy, and we are well into our second season now.
That's right. And for anyone who's just joining us, our whole premise is a little different. We give you this in-depth look at a rock or heavy metal record.
Yeah.
But we do it by blending a ton of public sources from the specialized press, magazines, webzines, blogs, from all over the world.
Exactly. And the sources, they're selected by the Heavy Blend team, and I want to stress this, these are real people. And then we rework that information using the latest AI tools to sort of synthesize all that data.
Right.
But the heart of this show is human. The choice of sources, the prompt engineering, our social media, the video editing, all of it is done by real people with a genuine passion and, years of experience in music.
Absolutely. The tech is just a tool. The passion is what drives it. And speaking of passion, our mission isn't just to talk about, the giants of the scene.
The Metallicas of the world.
Right. We are really dedicated to promoting emerging bands as long as, there are enough good, authoritative reviews out there for us to really dig into.
Which brings us to today's destination. We are heading to South America. We're going to Brazil.
A fantastic choice.
I have to say it, we love Brazil.
Oh, it's an amazing place. And for what we do, Brazil is a nation that's second to none when it comes to just pure passion for metal and hard rock.
The dedication of the fans there is just incredible.
And we really need to give a shout out to a label that's helping bring that passion to the rest of the world.
Yeah.
We're talking about the German record label, Pride and Joy Music.
Yes.
And specifically, the tireless work of Birgit Schwanke. She does an incredible job giving so many new hard rock and melodic rock bands from all over the globe a real chance to be heard.
It's such vital work for the scene. So huge respect to them. And hey, before we start, I just want to say a massive thank you to you, the listener. The feedback we're getting on the Heavy Blend from the public, from the press, even from the bands, it's been amazing.
It really has. It just shows there's a real hunger for this kind of deep dive. So thank you.
All right, let's get into it. Who are we talking about today?
We are looking at a band from São Paulo called Nite Stinger. They formed pretty recently, around 2020, 2021.
Fresh blood.
Very much so. The lineup is Jack Farrer on vocals. You've got a dual guitar team with Ivan Landgraf and Bruno Marx, Bento Mello on bass, and Leandro Araujo on drums.
And this isn't their first record, is it?
No, this is their sophomore album. They had a self-titled debut back in 2021, and they've actually shared stages with some pretty big names.
Oh, yeah.
Europe, Eclipse, hardcore superstars, so they've definitely been putting the work on the road.
Wow, that is some serious company. And the new record, one we're digging into today, is called What the Night Is All About, dropped January 23rd, 2026. Just from the title, I'm getting a certain vibe.
You should be. The vibe is pure, unadulterated 80s hard rock, hair metal revival.
Yes. We're talking spandex, hairspray, the whole 9 yards.
Musically, absolutely.
Achoo.
The sources we looked at, they name drop everyone. Mötley Crüe, Rat, Def Leppard, Poison, Dokken.
The Scorpions.
The Scorpions. It's the whole Mount Rushmore, the Sunset Strip.
Love it.
And what's really interesting is that even though they're from South America, the consensus is that they just perfectly channel that LA sound. It's a blend of that classic nostalgia, but, with a really modern production.
Oh, it's a trip back in time, but it sounds clean for today.
Exactly.
Okay, let's do it. Let's get into the tracks. This is The Blend.
Let's go.
So we're starting right at the top. The album kicks off with a song called You Know Why.
A proper high-energy opener. The reviews say it's got these powerful riffs, a super catchy chorus.
And this is where we get our first bit of international flavor. We looked at a review from the Italian site melodicrock.et. They described it as, and I'll quote the Italian here, ritmicamente travolgente, dove voce e strumenti si intarsiano in modo piacevole.
Which basically means rhythmically overwhelming, where voice and instruments interweave pleasantly.
A great way to put it. That's what you want in an opener.
For sure.
Then we get to track 2, Your Own Way to Be. And this one stood out to me because a few different reviewers said the main guitar riff reminded them of Ozzy Osbourne or Rat.
That's an interesting mix. You have the heavier, darker Ozzy sound and that sleazy Rat groove.
Right. And our friends over in France at TV Rock Live, they had a really strong take. They said, Le Lord, Your Own Way to Be, à la rythmique folle son très 80s.
So the heavy Your Own Way to Be with a crazy rhythm that sounds very 80s.
Crazy rhythm? I like that.
It definitely speaks to their technical skill. I mean, this isn't just simple stuff. The reviews pointed out some great solos and phrasing on this track. They're showing off their chops early.
Okay, moving deeper in, we have a song called The Night Is Never Over. Now, you mentioned the Sunset Strip, but it sounds like this one takes a bit of a detour.
Yeah, a detour to Northern Europe, actually. It's described as having a Scandinavian sound.
Oh, like the band Europe or maybe early TNT?
Exactly that vibe. You know, groovy guitars, those big gang vocals in the chorus. And fittingly, we have a German perspective on this one. It's a quote from either Metal Factory or Metal Only. They were both all over this release.
What did they say?
They called it a stampfende Melodic-Rocker, der zum Mitsingen und sogar Fausttrecken animiert.
Stampfende Melodic-Rocker. I love German.
It's the best. It translates to a stomping melodic rocker that animates you to sing along and raise your fist.
Well, if a song doesn't make you want to raise your fist, are you even listening to hard rock?
That's a very valid point. This one sounds like it's made for the live show.
Now, here's where we hit a bit of a split in opinion. The track is called Fantasy.
Ah, yes. The conflicting reviews.
So on one hand, some reviews compare the riff to Pretty Maids, and they praise the bass line from Bento Mello for this cool heaviness. In fact, CGCM Rock Radio called it a favorite.
What?
But then you have a site called The Headbanging Moose.
Great name.
Who found it to be the most generic track on the whole album.
And this is the classic tension with any revival genre, isn't it? One person's perfect tribute is another person's generic copy.
That makes a lot of sense. And we see a similar thing with the next track, Love and Freedom.
That's the one that gets compared to Accept.
Yes. Specifically, the riff from Balls to the Wall.
An absolute classic.
So some sources call it thunderous and say it builds really well. Others felt it kind of stepped back on the energy a bit, that it didn't quite catch fire.
So it seems like the middle of the album is where your personal taste for those 80s tropes really gets tested.
It does. But then we hit the title track, and everyone seems to be on the same page again, what the night is all about. And this is where it gets really interesting, because they brought in a special guest.
A very special guest. Stevie Rochelle.
The singer from TSEF.
A true icon of that whole scene. And his presence here it's significant.
The reviews say the vibe gets much sleazier here, a real party anthem.
Right. And having Stevie on the track, it's like a validation for Nite Stinger. It's not just imitation, it's collaboration.
Yeah.
It connects the original era to this new wave. One source just called it pure electricity.
It's a seal of approval from the Sunset Strip itself. Now, we can't have an 80s-style album without
Oh, here we go.
the power ballad.
Of course, it's the law.
And here it is, all the love that you need.
The obligatory lighters in the air moment. Or phone flashlights, I guess.
Yeah, these days. The sources mention all the key ingredients, synth touches, heartfelt vocals, a big harmony guitar solo.
The whole formula.
Metal Temple said this song would have been played to death on the radio in the 80s. A clear tribute to Mötley Crüe's Home Sweet Home or Poison's Every Rose Has Its Thorn.
It's interesting, though, because the German review from Metal only felt it wasn't quite a hit. They thought it was more mid-tempo AOR. But then, TV Rock Live in France basically said it was melancholic magic.
The French are romantics, what can you say?
That might just explain it.
And finally, the album closes out with Reach the Sky.
The big finish.
Thumping drums, high energy. Thematically, it's all about ambition. It feels like the band is making a statement, This is where we're going.
And that's a crucial way to end. You want to leave the listener feeling energized, not worn out.
So we've gone through the album. What's the final verdict from the critics on what the night is all about?
Well, it's generally really positive, but there's definitely a spectrum. The scores range from a solid 7 out of 10 all the way up to a perfect 5 out of 5.
Okay, let's break that down. Who was on the more critical end?
That would be the German reviewers, Metal Factory and Metal Only. They landed around that 7 out of 10 mark. And their critique is actually really interesting. They said the band reproduces the sound perfectly. High gloss sound, they called it, But because it's a reproduction of a past era, it can't quite capture the hit potential of the original bands.
So because it's not 1987, it can't have the same cultural impact as an album from 1987.
That's basically it. They see it as a fantastic record for old school fans,
Yeah.
but maybe it lacks that spark of, true originality that defined the genre back then.
Got it. And on the other end of the spectrum?
The French critique from TV Rock Live, they were just ecstatic. 5 out of 5.
Wow.
They called it exciting and breathtaking and rich and varied. They were completely sold on the energy and the execution.
And I saw Metal Temple was also pretty high on it, an 8 out of 10, but they had a note about the production.
They did. They described the production as very glossy, very modern and polished. And they actually said they wished for a slightly rawer sound to let some of that live energy come through more.
That's the modern dilemma, isn't it? You can make everything sound perfect, but you might lose some of that garage band grit.
Exactly. But overall, the big takeaway is that this album isn't trying to reinvent the wheel. It's honest, it's full of adrenaline, and it's music designed to be played live.
Fists in the air music.
That's what it is.
And you know what? Sometimes that's exactly what you need. You don't always want some complex musical puzzle. Sometimes you just need a killer riff and a chorus you can shout along to.
I could not agree more. It's a reminder that rock and roll is supposed to be fun.
So, Nite Stinger from Brazil, proving the 80s are alive and kicking in São Paulo.
And showing that the whole global network of hard rock, from a German label to Italian reviews to Brazilian musicians, is absolutely thriving.
That is a perfect way to put it. Okay, we're nearing the end of our deep dive, but we really want to hear from you. We have a few questions, and we'd love for you to drop your answers in the comments.
Yeah, let's get the conversation started.
First, do you think modern bands can capture the true spirit of the 80s, or is it always just going to be nostalgia? What's the difference between revival and just retro?
That's a deep one.
Second question. From what we've described, which track sounds like an instant add to your playlist? Are you going for the high-energy opener or the power ballad?
And third, we're curious, have you explored the Brazilian metal scene much before today? I mean, besides the obvious legends like Sepultura, what do you know?
Great questions. Please let us know. And hey, if you found this discussion interesting, please share it with a friend. For us, the sharing of a passion between people is so much more important than just the number of subscribers to this channel.
We really mean that. It's about building a community of people who love this music.
Exactly. So share the noise, share the passion. Thanks for tuning in to The Heavy Blend.
Until next time.
Keep it heavy.